Hey there, food fans. Welcome back to the Food for Thoughtcast with me, your host, Melissa Reagan. I am joined today by the official co-host, none other than Chef Steven Gonzalez. What's going on?
Hi, how's it going? I'm present and here.
Present and here and accounted
Yeah.
for. And joining us today is Tate Hoven from the Good Day for a Movie podcast. What's up, Tate?
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Hey, buddy.
Today, we're going to talk about the other side of the industry. So, as everybody will soon find out, Tate is in the service industry as well, but we want to talk about the service side of it. We always talk about the food part. We're going to talk about food too. Thank you for joining us today. And I have to ask you, as I ask every guest, what is the most amazing thing you ate this week?
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, so I actually, I mean, it's a two-parter because last night I ate at the restaurant that I work at, and it's
All right.
and I had duck breast, and it's a new one. It was a new thing on the menu for us. It's like a wild game restaurant. So, but yeah, it was phenomenal. So it's probably that. But yeah.
You had
I'll
me at
never
duck
say
and you
no
kept me with breast, so
to duck.
it's a win-win.
I'll never say no to duck.
Yeah. Yeah. When I saw it, I was like, oh shit, is this new? And they were like, yep, just threw it on a few days ago. And I was like, oh, well, I'm sold on that.
You have to learn how to sell it, right?
Well, that's the thing is I'm a reserve now at the restaurant. Like I basically am I'm the relief player. Like
You're on call.
Yeah, I'm on call. I mean, like if it's ever short staffed for any reason, they'll shoot me a text and they'll be like, hey, can you come either expo or can you come host or can you come serve, bartend, whatever.
You're the fixer.
Yeah, I come and help, and I'm like the knight in shining armor when I can help.
I like it. Yeah,
it's
a win-win.
It's nice to play heroes sometimes. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, Steve, what was the most amazing thing you ate this week?
We are getting creative, and breakfast is my favorite thing. So we went with a traditional croque madame, mostly because my brother is in Europe right now, and he's sending me pictures of all the stuff he's eating. So I have FOMO, and so I decided we're just going to make croque madames. You know.
Okay. Question: what's croque madame?
It's basically, so I will break it down, oversimplify. It's like a French ham and cheese. But you got like a nice bechamel sauce over the top, a fried or poached egg. I always go fried egg. And then when you just cut into it, all that yolky goodness just kind of gets all over it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like a very dignified, bougie grilled ham and cheese.
And then a croque monsieur is just basically that without the fried egg. Like I said, oversimplify French ham and cheese. A lot of people are listening to this saying, dude, I hate you so much right now for that, Steven.
I love it. Let's see. The most amazing thing I ate this week was undoubtedly, shout out to my local spot, Good Friends. Undoubtedly their bread pudding, one of their cooks makes it, and it's like a cross between bread pudding and flan. It's stupid good. It's so good.
Well, question for you also, Melissa, because I know you just had Jacob on, or at least I think this will come.
We did. We did.
Was his answer to this a fast food related place?
Dude, we recorded for 2 hours. I don't remember what he answered.
He told me that like fast food was going to be a topic for him on.
It was.
He told me about his bracket and everything, so I'm curious to hear about who won.
He ran with it, and it was great.
He was pumped about it.
It was super fun. We had a blast. Remember what the most amazing thing that he ate? I don't know.
I think it's some Taco Bell or something along those lines.
Yeah, that fits the bill.
So sometimes the most amazing thing I eat in a week is like a packet of tuna and crackers. It really depends on the week.
Yeah.
So sometimes, you know how it is in our business. Sometimes you get home from work and you go like, did I eat? No.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. Just fill up on ketchup and stuff.
There's like the movie Big Daddy. It's like 30 ketchup packets. All right. Well, Tate, what are your earliest food memories? Like, let us into your world.
Oh man, I'm gonna get chastised for this one. I saw this one right off the bat.
Yeah.
I've made my transition, so I'm good now. I'm not a picky eater, but I grew up a very picky eater. So like
It
when
happens.
I saw that question, I was just like, oh man, it was like,
It's safe to say that we all start as picky eaters, though. You know, I
Yeah.
did.
yeah, I don't really know many kids that were like loving foie gras when they were like 5 years old. So maybe,
I
yeah,
would have been probably. I don't know.
I wouldn't have known what it was at 5 years old. But yeah, I was a very picky eater growing up. So I was like, I mean, for me, it was like anything carbs, like bread and cheese was like what I lived on, chicken tenders, and just
Why
like
not?
kids shit for like, yeah. So I mean, that's my earliest memory and like being forced to eat my vegetables and being like pissed about it. So when you asked that one, I was just like, not a lot of great early memories of food, like thinking back, like, but
It was all combative.
yeah, and like now I'm like I haven't had a grilled cheese. Now cheese hurts my stomach, so it's like
Oh no.
everything like that now scares me. But
I was I didn't get to the size by accident, so I was trying to eat anything that wouldn't eat me first for as long as I remember.
there you go.
Nearly anything edible. I was just like, let's do it. Whether I appreciated what it was or not.
So do you think at any point you like growing up you were a picky eater or no? Like you were just always adventurous?
Gosh, my mom will tell me after this episode. I don't remember being picky. I went through this ranch phase for a while where I just had to have ranch with everything, and now I can hardly stand the smell.
Yeah.
Because I started liking vinegar and vinaigrette. But no, so I have a twin. My twin brother eats meat, cheese, bread, no condiments, no vegetables, no fruit. And I would venture a guess that because I had to be different from him in every way because we were twins, I was like a backlash that I probably just ate a lot of things I didn't like just to prove that we were different.
Yeah. So it was more of an outcome of having a twin than
Yes. So yeah. Do you have any? Are any of those food memories fond though? Anything that you love from your childhood that you still eat now?
No, I think like the thing that I loved the most though when I was a kid was Red Robin. Like the fries at Red Robin, like the thick cut
Those
and like
are
the
good, yeah.
seasoning, whatever, like the
Dude.
seasoning they have that you dump on them. Like those are my favorite nights. And we ate out a lot growing up. Like my parents did not cook much growing up. So we ate out a lot. And Red Robin was always like the best.
Dude, I
Purely
freaking
because
love
of the
Red
fries.
Robin.
Yeah, who doesn't like that place?
Yeah. I haven't had that in so long though. Now thinking
That's
about it, I'm like,
bottomless steak fries. Stop.
yeah.
So good.
I don't
They
know.
have Go ahead.
I was gonna say I mostly stick with like the classics, you know, like the mac and cheese, the chicken tenders, the boogers, stuff like that. You know, I mean, well,
Yeah.
maybe not the boogers anymore, but you know, I grew out of that phase when I was like 35, 36.
I thought, like yesterday, I thought you were mispronouncing the word burger.
No, I saw it.
And I thought that you were going to like create reasons that I needed to edit this. And I was like, Steve,
Right.
are you having a
We're
stroke?
going
Like, what is
unedited today.
happening over there?
Right?
I love unedited.
I was like, boogers. Is he saying that on purpose?
No.
Steven, were you a
Oh,
picky eater growing up?
I actually had this conversation with my mom the other day. I was growing up, I didn't care for like, I would eat spaghetti, but it had to be like just butter and noodles, you know, like if there was sauce in it, I automatically assumed that there was onions in there and I was not going to have it, you know? And so it was like a lot of, you know, fast food stuff like that, like all the vegetables that kids have, i.e. French fries, you know, starches, all the good stuff. I will say though, like every Friday, my mom would take us to go rent movies, and we would either get like Chinese food or pizza, and that was like the best. So I still kind of, I don't keep that tradition, but I can always go for pizza still. You know, that's the one food that I eat now that I loved then too.
Same. It's my love affair with pizza. It's just grown stronger ever since.
Yeah,
ever
I have
since I can
quite a
remember.
combative relationship with pizza now, but I push through.
Sorry.
Because of the dairy.
The cheese, yeah.
Do you think are you completely lactose intolerant?
Well, I mean, it's been a weird journey figuring out, like, because there's certain cheeses. I mean, and I've been told a lot of things about like hard cheeses versus soft cheeses.
Yeah.
And aged cheese versus
Mhm.
young cheese. And like sometimes I'll like take the lactate pill with the food and it like won't do a single thing. Or like sometimes it'll help, and it's just a total hit or miss on like it all. So sometimes like anything super liquidy or creamy, I mean butter, yogurt, ice cream, milk, all of those things mess me up. Like
Oh, that's
bad.
terrible.
But like if it's like if it's a pizza that only has a little bit of cheese on it, and it's mostly like other things, like I'll be
Sure.
fine.
Are there
Yeah.
any vegan alternatives that you like, or do you just stay away?
I've like tried some of the vegan. I've tried some vegan pizzas, and like the vegan cheese is close, but not quite there for me. Like I still would prefer maybe a normal pizza with a little bit of a tummy. Like
You're like, I'm gonna suffer a little bit for this.
yeah, I'll
Yeah.
suffer a little bit
For
for like
quality.
the actual legit. But like I did have some cashew queso the other day. That was really good.
It is really good, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of places in Austin that do like really great vegan food.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm in a good
I
spot.
don't know if Beer Plant. Do you know if Beer Plant is still open? Do you know that place
That doesn't sound familiar to me.
over by? It's in West Austin, Mozart's area where it used to be. I don't even know if Mozart's. It's been a hot minute since I lived in Austin, but Beer
Yeah, it looked
Beer
like-
Plant's good.
Yeah. Looks like it's still there.
So-
Vegan restaurant. Boom.
Yeah, they make everything. They make the lox out of the carrots, and they make the cashew cream cheese for the bagels, and they make the chicken and waffles is made out of seitan, and every single thing on the menu is vegan, and it's really tasty.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
you might have some success there.
All right. Definitely gonna go check
So-
that out.
Dude, you got to go check it out. Yeah. All right. That makes me really sad though about you.
I mean, I've been pretty good about avoiding it. Like now, if I get like a burger, I'll get it with no cheese, and it doesn't bother me. Like
Mhm.
there's a lot of foods that I've been able to avoid having a slice of cheese on it, and it's totally fine. But it's the pizza and the queso, and like pastries too. Like
Yeah.
it has a lot of butter in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That hurts
It's crazy because like you don't realize how much dairy is in food.
so
You,
much.
you just talk about it, nonchalantly, and then if you have some sort of allergy, you have to remind yourself, oh yeah, I can't quite do that with you. I can have it, you can't, but we can't.
Yeah.
I always feel just a little bit guilty talking about
Right.
stuff like that.
Not together. Have you tried Nada Moo, the ice cream?
Not a moo. I've tried several. I mean, I could have. I've tried several of the non-dairy ice creams, and they're pretty good for the most
I
part.
think they if it's still there, they have a scoop shop at Lamar and Barton Springs.
Oh, so it's an
by the
actual
old
physical
Peter-
location, not a
Yeah, by the old Peter Pan Golf. But I think Sprouts carries their pints, but they do like a coconut based, but to their credit, it doesn't taste overwhelmingly coconut. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
hey, you might give that a shot too. Look, I'm giving
Oh,
you all
oh my
sort of
gosh.
options tonight. I don't even live there anymore, but like yeah,
vegan food night.
I know what's up.
I love it.
Did you cook it all growing up? You said your parents didn't. Were you interested in it at all?
No, never really until a couple years ago. Like when I started working in the industry a little bit more, that's when I got more curious about it. And then also just I think my brother getting really big into cooking and like living with him for a little bit really helped me and like wanting to learn more. But and he'll tell you about how annoying I was when I started cooking. Like I would be like, I'd be pestering him about like how to cook a chicken and like and like making sure everything was perfect and making sure everything was good. And like he was just like, just try it, fail, do whatever like you need to do. He would get annoyed with how basic questions I would ask.
You can't be afraid to fail a little bit though. Like and I think we're all at that way at some point. Like, don't you think, Steve?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, but we all start that way. You just want to know that what you're doing is right.
Yeah. And it's like the unknown is the scary part to me. Like when I was cooking like new things and not knowing if I was doing it right, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
like,
the only way that you're doing it right is that you don't get sick. So
yeah,
Yeah, don't kill somebody, but until you realize that right and wrong are made up, and it's like whose lines in anyway where they say the points don't matter.
exactly. Yeah.
Because a recipe's just a guideline.
So
Okay.
I've in the last couple of years I've cooked a lot more, and now I have it on my like goals. I have it on my goals of once a month try and cook a new dish. And
Nice.
that could be, I mean, anything, but it's either like a whole dish or like trying just a new style of cooking something. Like
Mhm.
for 1 month, it was just like work really hard this month on trying to cook a good omelet. Like
Nice. Did you do it?
I minimal success, but I think like, I did okay. I think a couple times, but
Like an American fold it in half, or like
Yeah.
did you roll a French
no,
omelet?
I couldn't do
Well,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
You could though.
Well, I could maybe someday.
Like one more wrist action. Like you can get it.
Yeah.
Well, if you mess it up, you kind of got a frittata, so we're good with it. You
Yeah.
know,
That was the
it's
nice
a
thing
win-win.
about eggs is like once you kind of start to mess up, you're like, all right, whatever. It's just me.
It's all in the name. Like you're like, I made a scramble.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
delicious.
So what's the most exotic thing that you've made then?
Well, I haven't gotten too exotic, I don't think. I think the most exotic I've gotten is just like in some sauces, like in trying to like make up my own sauces and make my own bases. So like even for like there's like this recipe, this Korean recipe that I got for like udon noodles with and I got this I went to a barbecue place and they had like this jalapeno sausage that they like slice up for you at the barbecue place. We didn't eat it all, so I took it home. I cooked that with the like all in a pan with a sauce and like other veggies, and then threw the noodles in there and then like the sauce on top. Cooked it all together for a little bit. So that was like, because I've never worked with like those noodles and I don't know. Even though all noodles are kind of the same, I'm learning. But
so did you buy like dry udon noodles or did you buy like the frozen? Okay.
Yeah.
There's not a right or wrong. I was just genuinely curious.
Yeah.
I'm lazy. I buy the frozen ones.
Yeah. Well, and I'm like trying to. I'm still working on some basics. Like, so I just got a rice cooker the other day. I was
nice.
Which I was like,
I love rice.
That'll change your life.
Oh,
rice
cooker. I did for it. I didn't. Yeah. But it's like that's the level I'm at. Like I'm still very much at the beginning of learning to cook. So.
Yeah, but if you're feeding yourself, that's
to the rabbit bowl.
Like,
yeah. I think one of my big goals in life is to be at least a decent cook. Like, and that's like, I don't know. I all my like growing up, all my family friends and people that I like loved going to their houses if like their parents cook a really good meal. I was like, oh yes, we're about to have So that's the parent I want to be. I want to be the parent that all my friends' kids are going to be like, yeah, let's go over to eat at his place. He cooked.
Good for you, man. Yeah. I mean, the important part is like, don't stop trying, because even if it doesn't come out exactly like you want, like you're going to learn something along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've failed many times.
But I also feel like, you know, if you work in the restaurants, even if you're in front of house, like you see what's going on, you pick up on the ingredients, you see some of the preparations, like you learn about it. So when the time comes for you to try something, you have a little bit, you pick up a little bit of that knowledge, you know?
Yeah. And like the restaurant I work at, like we do everything from scratch. Like, I mean, everything from all of the bases, and like we make all of our own ketchup in house. We make all of our own mayos. We make our own bread in house. We are a butcher shop. So all of like everything from the very beginning to the final product, it's like done in house, made in house. We make our own house made smoked paprika. So it's like I mean, everything that, so I have learned so much just from talking through the menu about how they've made this dessert or how they've made this base. But yeah.
Dude, I love that. I love that so much.
So let me ask you this: like, when you see it all made from scratch, they let you like do you ask, can I try some just to see, or do they ask for your opinion? And then let's say it's just like a sauce, you know, and you have it there from scratch, and then you go try like out of a jar or something like that you would get like at the grocery store, and you can tell, like, can you tell the difference, or are you like, oh well?
So I haven't. I'm sure that like I know that they do that in like between the chef, sous chef, and all of them in the back of house. But I haven't tried any of our like. I mean, I just get to try it when it's like, here's the
finished product.
Yeah. Or like, here's the new dish that we have on the menu. Taste it. Give us your feedback on it. But no, that's a good idea. Like, that's a good point. Maybe I should like grab some of our stuff and test it against generic.
Well, I mean, even if you have a good rapport with like the back of the house, like, you know, I remember like when I was in restaurants, I would, you know, just tell, you know, the front of the house, hey, try this Caesar dressing, and then tell me how it compares to this one. And then, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, the amount of, I guess, appreciation that they have for it being homemade, it, you know, you definitely can tell that they will push it a lot harder. And it even carries outside of the job too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
it's not just like the reciting the words that you have on the page, but I know the servers that I work with, they love to get to try different things that they never tried before. They love getting to try all the components of a dish because it just, I don't know, it's going to make them more money in the end.
Yep.
Well, the best part about it was that, like, if you give them food, they take you to the bars and get you drunk on their dime. So it's a win-win.
Yep. End of the shift. If they like bring me some leftover anything, I'm like, I'm buying you a beer.
Yeah. But it's also, you know, like, you build that good rapport with them, and then you all become buddies and stuff, and it just makes work a lot more enjoyable.
Yes. Yeah. but there is still a lot that I need to learn as like far as like I've tried a lot of our final products, but as far as learning and tasting it every step of the way, that would be a really cool experience.
I can't speak for everybody, but I bet they would be honored if you asked them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really fun thing about being in the business is the chance to learn and grow. Like no matter what role and what place you're in, there's always these really great opportunities to just, I don't know. It's a completely different world. I feel like you don't have the same constant learning moments in other businesses.
But even then, and even then, like there will be times where they'll say, "Hey Tate, can you help us make this sauce or something?" You know, and then you're helping them just because you're caught up with all your stuff and you want to just make it better and better and better. You know, and again, that carries outside of work too. So then everyone's like, "Oh, Tate, you make the best," you know, whatever it is that you're making.
Yeah.
So you said that every month you have a new goal. Like, did you do something for November, or is that still a work in progress?
I'm prepping it for next week. I've like had some friends in town this last weekend, and I have some family coming into town this week. So I was like, I'm gonna put something together. It takes me like a day or two to think about it. So I'm like, and like go to the grocery store and get it all ready. And so yeah, that's my next week meal. I haven't thought about what it'd be yet. So if you have any ideas about something, I think like a fish. There's like fish dishes that I want to try and cook. I don't know what it could be. I mean, I'm open to anything. So if you guys have any ideas or suggestions on
that's funny. You know,
well, the first question is, how's the weather over there? Is it cold over there?
It's getting a little chilly, and by chilly for Austin,
it's high
of 60 to 70. So
it's temperate.
Yeah. I don't know if you're going soup weather or like chilly weather, but it's not quite there yet. I'm already thinking about that.
Well, I was thinking more like seafood stew or even just making like octopus. I'm always a big fan of octopus.
Oh, see, right off the bat, that intimidates me so much.
No,
it's very easy to make. Very easy.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
And we don't just say that because we know what we're doing. We say that because it's easy to make.
Well, I mean, if I asked for something, if I asked you guys for like something that I could try, whether it be like this month, next month, or something like that, would you guys be willing to write me up like a quick little recipe of a quick little easy dish that I should try? Love it. Cool. Well, then I'll have to get that from you and then check back in a couple months when I try.
Do you have you said you have family coming in? Is this like pre-Thanksgiving? Is this Thanksgiving related at all, or what is
pre-Thanksgiving?
Okay, I'm nosy. So
yeah, they won't be in town for Thanksgiving, but yeah.
So is the menu traditional or
Thanksgiving menu?
Yeah.
When I'm back in Colorado, yes, it's very traditional. But so my hottest take with all my friends is that Thanksgiving food is overrated in my opinion. And I think now I kind of said this nonchalantly, and then I think the backlash I got has made me double down on it. But
that's what backlash should do. You should
dig
your heels in.
Like, and I like no discredit to any of my family. Like I think they cook really good Thanksgiving meals. Like my mom's got this great like mac and cheese that she makes. But like overall, like when I think of all the dishes, like nothing about it really gets me super excited other than like green bean casserole is great and stuffing's great. But like other than that, like there's not like I don't know what it is about like the Thanksgiving plate of just like big hunk of turkey, bunch of mashed potatoes and gravy. It's like there's so much going on that I think, and so much of it to me is like just okay that it doesn't get me going.
Okay, then.
But yeah, that's my hot take on Thanksgiving.
I'm not upset about it. It's like a lukewarm take. I'm not upset about it because I love Thanksgiving food, and also I'm skipping it this year. So.
But is it normally a very traditional?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
But I'm fine with I'm also fine with only eating it once a year.
Yes, definitely. So,
it's more about the people and the spending the time together. And
my wife loves it. So it's one of those things where she loves the traditional, but then she's the idea person, and I just put it into action. And so we're gonna change it up just a little bit this year, but we still got to do like the turkey. So I was like, well, let's start buying the turkey. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I agree with you. It's a ton of food all on one plate, just kind of mashed together. But my thought process has always been, if you're going to make the turkey, make it the best that you can. If you, I mean, the ham, I don't have time to make a ham like, let it cure for months and stuff like that. But I mean, ham's ham, and then like the green bean casserole, the mashed potatoes, all that stuff. Like, just make the best that you can, so that way it all just complements one another versus just like one, all just being together.
Yep. So what's your favorite thing on the traditional menu, do you think?
Ooh, that's a tough one. We were just talking about this, Melissa and I, but I'm always a big fan of, like, if you can make a turkey and it's juicy, then you're doing it right. Like, because it's so easy to overcook.
Yeah.
So I'd say I've gotten better compared to when I first started. I mean, I love like the mashed potatoes, the mac and cheese, all the carbs still, I just want to like conk out after eating Thanksgiving meal. But
right.
I
say it's not a meal until I hate myself.
Yeah. But I mean, I just try to, like, I don't know. I change it up. So like green bean casserole, Melissa knows that green beans and I are not fond of one another. I just don't like them. So we were talking about, I do Brussels sprout casserole, because I actually like Brussels sprouts, stuff like that. So
I like that. See, like anything that you could, like, I think if you took a traditional Thanksgiving menu and tweaked it a little bit like that, I'd get instantly more interested.
But in some, that would never fly. Like in some families, that would never ever fly. You can't mess with the classics. My favorite is, I could like really take or leave the turkey.
That's usually how I feel. But if like you're right, Stephen, if the turkey's cooked really well, it is really good. But yes, I normally can.
If you do it really well, it's amazing. I like the way that all the other things taste side by side. So like the dressing with the gravy, with the roll, with the cranberry sauce, kind of, it's like all the flavors together.
If it can make a sandwich, then it's perfect.
Well, the cranberry sauce, I did forget it. I left that good one out. But I have one thing.
Homemade or out of the can?
Homemade, always. But one of my favorite Thanksgivings actually was at a family friend's house, and they, instead of doing a traditional Thanksgiving, this might have been COVID year. Instead of doing a traditional Thanksgiving, they just made paella. They got like the giant bowl of paella, and it was just like, I mean, it was a pretty classic paella, but it was just so good. And that's all. I mean, we had other like little snacks and appetizers, but it was mainly just, you got a big old plate of paella.
Paella is so good.
And that was awesome. So, big fan of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, a traditional paella has something from the land and the sea and the sky. That's how the lore goes. So, what's not to love? We had everything in there. Yeah. So good. I want to eat it right now. That's not fair. So you're gonna make fish. Like, you would probably be really close to the first, what they would consider like the first Thanksgiving meal was very seafood heavy, because obviously it was on the coast.
Okay.
So in Plymouth. So
well, that's maybe what I'm gonna have to make my Thanksgiving.
Nice.
That sounds like fun. Yeah.
We'll have to offline this, and you can tell us what kind of fish you're thinking about, and we can like help you out.
Yes. I am like, again, it's like a dark void going into like cooking fish. It's probably not.
Welcome to the rabbit hole. Yeah. Once you peek in, that's it. You're done.
Going back.
So besides where you work, do you have any favorite places to eat in Austin?
I mean, the barbecue down here is phenomenal.
It is.
So there's this place called La Barbecue that's really good. I'd say, other than that,
would define really good. I'm really sorry to interrupt you, but like,
no, it doesn't really describe.
Like better than Franklin's.
Oh, so I haven't had Franklin's.
Oh my God!
How long have you been there in Austin?
Get off the show now.
2.5 years.
Please don't cancel us.
What have you been doing?
It's the time commitment that just like whenever I talk to people and they're like, "Oh yeah, you got to show up at 7 or 8 a.m. on a Saturday to go to Franklin's." I'm like, to wait 4 hours for barbecue when I could go to like La Barbecue or Interstellar or like other places where I'm waiting an hour, maybe 2. So I haven't.
Have you been to Salt Lake?
Salt Lake's great. Yeah.
Have you been to County Line?
No, that's the one that I haven't been to. That's an old one that I've heard is classic.
It's good?
Yeah. I've been to Valentina's, just kind of like I think that's the Tex-Mex barbecue spot. Like they make mostly tacos, but with barbecue meat. That place is awesome. La Barbecue, Terry Black's is great, but it's like I like the other places more than Terry Black's.
Yeah.
There's another one downtown, like right by Rainy Street. I'm kidding. But yeah, so I've had a good amount here. Haven't had Franklin's, haven't had Snow's. That's the other one.
Yeah.
That I've been told, but it's a little bit far out.
Does the Food for Thoughtcast need to sponsor you for like 4 hours? What if we bought an hour?
Oh yeah. just come down to Austin and we'll all go to Franklin's. And then...
Yes.
You know what? I'll actually be in Austin in January. So
nice.
I'll save my Franklin's.
Let's see what time I get in Austin. Yeah, we'll figure that one out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be in Ohio, where I'm pretty sure there's no good Texas barbecue. But yeah.
So okay, are you when you go for barbecue, are you just like pure meats? Are you a side guy? Are you sauce? What's good barbecue besides, like these places?
It's I mean, so it's mainly like, I mean, brisket is a must get at any of these places just to like whenever I'm testing it out. It's like I'm testing you on your brisket. But like I try and go with multiple people just so you have an excuse to get as much as possible, because it's really hard to like go and get like
you need an excuse. Is it though? You're not trying hard enough.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I just need to go to Franklin's and order for like 6 people and then take it all home too. But I think it's a combination of all of it. I'm a big ribs guy, so like brisket and ribs are the two that I'm going to go for first. But I mean, and then as far as the sides go, again, mac and cheese hurts. So as much as I want to go for that one, I don't usually do that. Potato salads kind of hit the spot. Okay. And then that, just like I feel like the beans usually, like I don't know, and like all the pickled onions and stuff like that, all the pickled veggies on the side. That's a money side. So
I always feel like it's one or the other. Like you can't get good meat and sides. You either get good sides, you get good meat, but you can never get both.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I have found. Yeah. Like La Barbecue has got great meat, but like the sides are okay. But could go without it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, there are a few places out there that have like one really good side and the rest are serviceable.
Yeah.
And they have really great meat, or they have like the world's best mac and cheese and the pulled pork is dry.
Yeah.
It's like one way.
At that point, how are you in business? Like you're a barbecue spot.
One way or the other. Maybe it's for the ambiance. You don't know.
Yeah, I'd say barbecue, and then the restaurant I work at is awesome. And there's a place called Suerte that's probably my favorite spots on the east side. So
where on the east side?
I've heard of it.
East 6th. Yeah, it's like I don't know how they describe it. It's like just kind of fancy Mexican food. Like it's like tacos. Sure. It's like ceviches. I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know if ceviche is technically Mexican. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like fancy, smaller plates, but yeah, I don't know how to describe it, I guess, but it's really good.
No, I mean, hey, it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Ceviche. I want all the things right now.
What were your favorite restaurants in Austin?
Hungry.
When you were here?
Let's see. So I ate at the Salt Lick a lot.
Yep.
Because I lived in South Austin, so I was really, really close to it.
Yep.
Put me on the spot. I don't remember what things were called. Goodness. There was I don't even know if it's there anymore because I haven't lived there. This was like pre-COVID. I moved back to Dallas in 2013. There was a diner / comfort food spot at the corner of William Cannon and Slaughter. Can't remember what it was called.
Oh.
It was really, really good. They had a really great
Is it Phoebe's?
Nope, not Phoebe's.
Phoebe's a diner on the south side.
Yeah.
But that's kind of newer probably.
And then I did both the Magnolia and Kirby Lane, like frequented those quite a bit.
Yep.
Great
spots.
Yeah, I liked those. I liked those places a lot. Olivia's, I think, for Italian. And then Bodolino's on South Congress and Contigo and Odd Duck.
Odd Duck's, yeah, Odd Duck's awesome.
Mhm.
There's their sister restaurant, Sour Duck, is like
Mm-hmm.
minutes away from me.
Yeah.
And I go there all the time.
I went to a wedding that they catered once, and it was off the chain.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was so good.
You have
It was so good.
because I think now that I'm thinking about there's a food truck, there's a taco truck, and it's like one of my favorite spots in Austin. I don't know how I didn't think about this because I eat there at least once a week. But it's like $2.50 per taco, and it's just money. I mean, they make all the tortillas like handmade, and then
Nice.
it's just the meat, onion, cilantro. They give you a little bit of side of salsa.
Love it.
That's like one of my favorite things down here.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I never had a shortage of good things to eat when I was in Austin. I mean, for tacos, it was Maria's.
Yep.
Taco Express.
Yep.
That's so good. Like the best pastor I've ever had.
I don't even remember any places in Austin because I only lived there for a year, and that was what, like 2004, 2005, and
so Tate, Steve, and I went to culinary school together.
Yeah.
And
Very
so obviously Austin has changed a lot in nearly 20 years.
right.
So moonshine for brunch. Yeah.
Don't know that
Super
one.
good. Super good. Just down the street from the Driscoll.
Okay.
Really, really tasty spot.
There's a place.
So-
It's all like German food. It's called like Bangers or something like that.
Yeah, that's on Rainy.
My
Yeah.
wife loves that place. I ate there once, and
That's
that
a
was
great
good.
place.
Yeah.
Yes, that place is good.
I've had plenty of drinks there, and I've eaten there one time, and it was really good.
Well, and you have all the burger spots, right? Like you have
Yeah.
Camino, you have Dirty Martin's, you have
Yeah, Casino is awesome.
yeah.
And have you ever had Jew Boy Burger?
No.
It's like
No,
a
that's-
really weird name, but
Oh,
their
Steve,
burger-
we talked about this on the burger episode, I think. Maybe.
they're like
Think.
kind of like top-notch burgers right now in Austin.
Yeah.
I don't know how long they've been there, but I think they've been there for probably at least 10 years, I'd say. But yeah, they're pretty awesome.
Yep.
I remember Tom's World Famous. Was it Tom's World's Famous Burgers when we talked to Joseph? Is it Joseph? Wait,
Oh,
on the
God.
fast food episode. Why am I?
Who did we talk
Hang on.
about? Jacob.
Jacob, thank you.
Tate, I called Jacob Josh. Oh my God.
I'm gonna
I
call
knew it
it.
started with a J. I forgot.
He
But-
was really, really a good sport about it, but I put his like first and last name together. I never call him Jacob in any other conversation because he's always Roth.
Yeah.
And I just shoved them together and it became Josh. And bless his heart, he was like a really great sport. I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry.
But yeah, what was it? Was it one of the chains that we talked about, like someone's world's famous burgers that we never heard of?
Oh yeah, there was
Yeah.
somebody in the fast food bracket that we had never ever heard of. We were like, how is it world famous? Like nobody's ever heard of them.
I didn't
can't
even see
remember.
his full final product of a bracket, but
It was pretty dang impressive.
yeah.
It really
Yes.
was.
Yeah.
Now I'm like knocking around this map, trying to figure out what this place was that I
Right.
used to like to eat. My bad. Anyway, it has been a hot minute. Yeah, there used to be really good food at South Park Meadows before everything was a chain. So, it is what it is.
What about Juan and a Million? Have you been there? There's very few places I remember in Austin.
Yeah, I've heard great things about Juan and a Million. My dad was the first person to go there and was like, "Hey, have you been here?" I was like, "No." And he was like, "It's fantastic." And I was
One
like,
in a Million's great.
"I got a line out the
It
door
is.
every day."
Yeah.
So forgive me. Everybody who's going to listen to this is going to be like, "You're an idiot. You don't know how to read a map." It wasn't Slaughter and William Cannon; those are parallel. So it was Slaughter and Brody. It's been a hot minute since I lived there. But yeah,
I believed you the first time, so
you're like,
therefore
no,
it's fine.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of things down here. None are the ones that I think they were. Do you ever? Of course, Madame Mam's pretty phenomenal for pad
Never
thai.
been.
It's really good. They have good pad thai. They have really good like massaman curry.
I've been looking for a good pad thai, so that I'm gonna.
Oh, it's Galaxy Cafe. That's what it is. At Slaughter and Brody.
Mm.
it would be my luck that it's not good anymore because that's how it goes. But Tate's gonna try it and he's gonna be like, "What is this crap?" So,
Or it's going to be amazing.
it could be amazing. It
Yeah.
could be amazing. Yeah. It could be amazing. It could, it depends. I mean, I think every city has like the little gold nuggets that you can find.
Yeah.
You don't always have to know. Sometimes you can stumble across things. But it helps to know somebody that lived there or lives there, right? But do you have any dream food destinations? Like when you travel, is there something that you've always wanted to try or taste?
I think like just cuisine wise, I really want to go to, I mean, culture and cuisine wise, I really want to go to Japan. But
Yeah,
I mean,
me too.
yeah, I can't think of like a specific dish that I really want to try in a certain place.
So what is it about Japan that makes you want to go there? Like, is it like the sushi being authentic? Is it the ramen? What exactly is it?
It's all of the above right there. But then it's also kind of like, I mean, the culture I think seems really cool. Like my brother studied abroad in, not Sage, my other brother. He studied abroad in Japan, and so he would tell me all about it.
Nice.
I don't know, something about Japan just draws me in. Like I've seen like the cherry blossoms images of that, like
Mhm.
in April or whatever. And also I've just been like in the last year or two been watching a lot of anime and like watching a lot of Japanese films, and I'm just like totally in on like
There,
I don't know, like yeah, whatever you want to call it. But just like in general, I think it's just like Tokyo sounds cool, but there's a lot of those other pockets
Yeah.
that I've heard about. But
there's something like especially fascinating about how the Japanese automate
Oh
their
yeah.
cuisine,
oh, yeah.
which is really appealing to me. I'm just like, I can go to a place, not talk to a human, get my food out of a tiny locker, and somebody behind the wall made it. Like,
Yeah.
why aren't we doing that here? It's an introvert's dream.
If you get a chance to check out like those rotating sushi bars,
Yeah.
do it. I was in Philadelphia last weekend and I got to check that out. It was the coolest thing ever. And like if there's something that you didn't want, yeah, you just press a screen and they send it from the kitchen. It was the coolest thing ever. Like
How does it work as far as like, can you just grab whatever and they
yeah,
just charge you?
just grab
Yes.
whatever. And I think the way they
Yeah, you pay a one fee at the beginning and eat all you can.
I think I paid like per plate. I don't how they charged or how they figured it out. Couldn't tell you. I don't know if it was just by like weights, like when it was passing by your table, the amount of like there's a little section where you can put your dirty trays down into, and there's a counter. I don't know.
Yeah. So there's like a conveyor belt sushi spot here that does. So Tate, I assume you like sushi then?
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, so they'll do like 2 pieces of nigiri is like an
Mhm.
order
Okay.
on a plate, and you'll grab like a plate from the conveyor belt, and then there's a slot at your booth, and they count the plates, so they have like a per plate price, and they'll kind of tell you what
Yeah.
color costs what, and then there's a screen where you can check your balance.
Weird.
But then
At that point, you're just like, no,
Yeah.
let's just keep eating. It's cool.
dude,
Whatever.
I mean, I ate until I was miserable. And then this past Saturday night, I went for Korean hot pot and barbecue. And it was not only they had like the burners on the table for the broth for the hot pot, they had the grill in the middle for the Korean barbecue, like your bulgogi and pork belly and what have you. But there was also a conveyor belt going by, and it was all one price. So I had a pot of like spicy Thai broth, and I was like, yes, I want a piece of broccoli. Yes, I want a cube of tofu. Yes, I want a brick of ramen noodle. I mean, it just kept going and going and going.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
You want to talk about full?
Yeah.
My God, I was like, ugh, I made mistakes were made.
Those are the kind of meals though that I will ball out on. Like sometimes I'll be like a cheap and I'll just like go get In and Out, or I'll go get like these taco trucks.
Mhm.
And like
But
some
when-
meals,
Yeah.
I'm not
When
even,
you go to different places that you don't normally go to, yeah, you might as well just go all out. Otherwise, are you really enjoying the experience?
Yeah, you have to. You have to.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is
well,
there
I hope
anywhere else
you
that you
get
would
to go
go
to Japan.
besides Japan?
So I think like overall my favorite cuisine is Spanish food. But so there's a
Like
lot of
Spain
places I want
Spanish
to,
food.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of places in Spain that I want to go. and the cuisine is a big draw there. But like now that you even mentioned like Korean barbecue, Korean hot pot, like that sounds fucking awesome. I don't know. There's so much food that, yeah, I don't know. Food is always a big draw of where I want to go.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I have to think more about that.
Kind of a loaded question though. No.
Okay.
Where
well,
would you go?
Yeah.
If you want a starter course on Korean, you need to go to Korea House on West Anderson Lane
Okay.
in North Austin.
God, I'm getting
It's-
all the recs. This is amazing.
Dude, go. Yeah. Well, I had nearly 9 years
What's-
to eat my
what's
way
it
through
called?
the city. Korea House.
Korea House.
Korea
Yeah.
House. That does sound like it'd be good though.
Dude, so good. And I mean, they have sushi. They have a sushi bar as well, but the real draw is like cooking the meat in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
And, dude, it's awesome.
Look at all those little small plates.
Yes, I know.
Wow.
It's like tapas, but not Spanish.
That looks okay. Oh, I got my vegan spot. I got a Korean spot. I got a pad Thai spot.
Let's go.
I'm just glad y'all weren't like, I like Spanish food, like fajitas and beans and nachos.
That would have been tough.
That would have been
Like-
epic though, if you all one of you two had said that.
Like, delete this episode. We have to start over. Nope.
Right. That would be another. Did you just say that? Kind of like me with my boogers,
I have an affinity for Spanish food. I mean,
Yeah.
there's something about like,
Well, a lot of it's like really good and fresh seafood.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
what I was gonna say. Like Mediterranean is also like draws
Yeah.
me in. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only been to Spain once, and even then it was very brief. But like my wife and I just had like tapas and stuff like that. And the one I remember, it's like a lot of olives. We had octopus because if I see it on the menu, like I'm ordering it. There's no questions about that.
octopus, that is.
Oh
Yeah.
dude, I love it. And I mean, everything that we had was just phenomenal. Like every taste was better than the last.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I just
Yeah.
had I'd probably had octopus. I have to have had it multiple times, but I had it when I was in New York a couple weeks ago, and I think it was just like grilled octopus, and it was
that's so good.
so good. Like I was a little
Yeah.
bit, I don't know. There's like still a few things like adventurous wise that I'm like curious about, where I'm not like, I'm not sure how this is gonna be. Like chicken hearts was that way for me the
Mhm.
first time I had it.
Oh, but they're really good.
God, they're so good. They're so good.
Dude.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Did you have
and
them
I
at a
always-
Japanese place?
No, it was actually at our restaurant. We at Daidue. We like
Oh, nice.
on fee the chicken hearts, and it's amazing. They're so good.
Oh yeah, those things are awesome.
The first time I had chicken hearts was at this little izakaya style Japanese restaurant here called Yama Sushi, and they were on a skewer. There was like 4 of them on a 6-inch bamboo skewer, and it just came out like, what am I trying to say? Yakitori style. Yeah. So grilled on a stick, basically, with
That's
like a
pretty cool ours.
little teriyaki. Like, oh god. So
Yeah, we just
good.
like we brush them with like a glaze, like it rotates what it is. But yeah, they just throw them right on the fire.
That's so
It
good,
just
There you
they're on a
go.
skewer, and it's so good.
man.
Yeah.
They're so tiny.
Yeah, little nuggets.
But chickens have so much love to give, but they're teeny tiny hearts.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I had to.
all those hormones and
low hanging fruit.
steroids and stuff.
Yeah. For an animal with such big breasts, you would think the heart would be bigger, but that's bum chewed.
There you go.
So there we are. I'll be here all night, or at least for 12 more minutes. All right. So I have to know that, since you're in the service industry, like when you go out to eat, do you make it known that you're in the business or not? Or is it a toss up? Does it depend on where you are?
I never really say it. Like, I mean, I think I want them to know that I do based on the way that I act.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mhm.
I'll stack plates and I'll like try
Yep.
and like, because I know what's easy. Yeah, like I'll like stack plates and put them at the corner of the table to be like, because
Yeah.
there's like little things that when you're a server, it's kind of just like, I mean,
Nobody likes that guy. I'm in the business. I know what this is. Nobody likes
Well,
that person.
Steve's made fun of me for this before, but I don't bring a change of clothes. So if I'm going out to eat after work, I'm in my chef coat, so that I don't have to tell somebody. But it is kind of nice when like game recognizes game.
Yeah.
And they go like, what's up, chef. I can't. There's a ton of places here where a lot of people know me by chef and don't know my first name. So
That's
like,
awesome.
It's easy.
I mean, but I don't do that to get a discount. Like I almost on the service side, right? Like I almost want what really makes me happy is if a server is having a particularly hard shift, or I can tell that they've been oversat, is kind of being like, hey, it's cool. Like I understand.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Just give them a little bit of grace. I like doing that. If you can make somebody's day by just being kind.
Yeah. Well, and it's like from what I've experienced, like from serving, is like if the table's like giving you their attention a little bit, it's super nice. Like, I mean, if they are like completely ignoring you if you're even bringing by water and they don't like say thank you, or they don't like do anything like to like kind of recognize you, or like when you are talking to them about the menu or talking to anything, and they just kind of act like they don't care for like, like they're there for like to hang out with them, and like you're just part of the experience in the job, and they don't want to like interact with you or talk with you. That's sometimes where I don't know, I like to like with the servers be like, hey man, how's your day going? Like I don't know, like just little stuff like that, and just talk to them.
But people want to be known and they want to be seen, and it's as much a journey and it's a tiny relationship that you get to build in that span of time. And isn't it the worst as somebody sits down and you go like, hey, how's it going today? And they go, Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my
God.
God.
The worst.
Like, oh God.
Those people are fun.
Like
we got that table today. Oh shit.
And at the restaurant I work at, we have no like brand name products. It's like we don't have like we have a local Texas cola and we have like a local Texas lime. So like sometimes people will like sit down and they'll just like, and it's not a liquor bar. So like we just have wine and beer. And people just sit down, they're like old fashioned, and they'll just like keep looking like at their, and I'm like, sorry, sir, but we don't have that. If you would take a look at the menu in front of you, then you would. But like, so
you'd interact with me a little bit, you'd know this already.
Yeah, but like also like what you said, like if you can tell that they're like clearly like, in the weeds, then like being like very, I don't know, personable with them on that, being like, yeah, take your time, no worries, we're in no rush.
Yeah, I mean, it just takes a little bit of that can just really change somebody's day.
Yeah.
So I know it's different in other states, but when you're in Texas making $2.15 an hour, like I just want the listeners and the viewers to know if the kitchen messes up, please don't punish your server. Yeah. Like, don't. They want to make it right. They want to make it right for you, no matter what it was. Don't punish them. It's somebody's rent. Yeah, I'll get off my soapbox now, but I feel very passionately about this.
I've seen like hosts get absolutely yelled at for like nothing that's their fault, and I'm always like, "What is your deal?" Like,
so Tate, let me ask you this: I have a very bad habit of I'll pick two things off the menu, like, okay, well, what do you think between this and this? And the server will always say, well, this is pretty good, but this is also good. I have a bad habit of saying, you know what, just surprise me. Is that bad? Is that bad manners? Or is that like, you know what, I put my trust in you and you're going to give me something awesome?
I usually love it. I think like 9 out of 10 times I love it. Like I've had a table that they sat down and there's this couple and they were like, they didn't even look at the menu. They're like, hey, can you just like course this out for us? Can like we want to let you pick it. Like, but they're like set some guidelines as far as like, we want 2 apps, 2 entrees to split and like 1 side and a bottle of wine. We're going to trust you on everything. Can you curate us a meal? And I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, this is awesome. And so like, that was great. I love that. And like, when people ask me that kind of question, it's like, I mean, yes, I do have an opinion. And so I will get you my favorite thing. But yeah,
I see that because my wife sometimes says like, like you have a bad habit of doing that. And like, it's not that it's bad or nothing, but it almost makes me just a little self-conscious. Like a buddy of mine, a couple of friends of mine had a burger spot and I would always go there and I'd say, you know what, just make me something, whatever you want. Not off the menu. Or not on the menu, And every time they just killed it,
I think as a server, I like it, but maybe it is like a person to person. Like I've known probably a couple servers that I've worked with where maybe they'd see that as like, maybe they would see it as like a hassle to like have to do that for you. But like, that's a bad server in my opinion. Like,
yeah, I mean, you're there. You are curating their meal in a way. Yeah. It's no different than, if you're like a museum curator, like you're in charge of somebody's experience. It's not that far off, know? And so I think my least favorite is when I go to somewhere I've never been and I go like, do you have any recommendations or what's your favorite thing on the menu? Dude, if you get a younger person, it's no offense against younger folks, right? But you get a younger person who's clearly hasn't been doing this for very long, and they go like, "Oh, I don't need the food here." Cool. Thank you for telling me that.
Just like
This comment makes me want to come out of my skin.
Yeah.
Like it, what can you
Right.
lie? Pick something.
at least
Yeah.
lie and just say that's delicious.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's
That-
your chance to really sell it. You can win an Oscar, right? You can be like,
Yeah.
You could pick the most expensive thing on the menu. And if you wholeheartedly said this is the best thing on the menu, well, enjoy that.
Yeah.
Enjoy that upsell.
Well, and that,
I've never
I'm
done
not
that
gonna know.
before where it's like where I just say pick my meal, this and this. I'm gonna have to try that though. And of
Yeah.
course, I do like the guidelines, like get us a good bottle of wine, but it can't be Moscato,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah, like, and that's what I like. Because if they would have, like, I had to ask them a couple of questions, and they're like, will you curate our menu for us tonight, or like our courses? I was just like, yes, but I have to ask at least a couple questions, which are like dietary restriction, things like that.
Yeah, you have allergies and
Yeah, and then like just generally, like, what kind of wine do you like? Generally, what's like, get a sense of direction. And
Mhm.
once I have a sense of direction and a couple of guidelines, that was awesome. If they wouldn't have given me the guidelines, I probably would have been terrified about what I was doing. But
That's putting a lot on you without any guidelines or any context, right? Like then you're kind of liable for if they have a bad time. But man, that sounds like a ton of fun though.
yeah, I loved it.
You don't have to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
we'll
I think
go-
if you like
Ooh,
care about,
awesome, yeah.
if you're a server and you care about the place that you work and you care about the food, I think you'd love that question anytime anybody asks recommendations or things like that. Like, I'd jump at that opportunity. But I also like it when people just so that's what I want. I'm like, cool. I love it.
I
Right.
think it probably depends on how many people you have sat and how busy you are.
Oh yeah. If,
Right.
I
if
do
am in the
always.
weeds, yeah.
What's that? Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say if I'm like in the weeds on like just already thinking about the next like 3 or 4 things that I have to do while I'm like
Mhm.
talking to somebody at a table, and like and I'm curating a menu, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I can put that together, but that is another thing that I have to do right now. So it's all depend. But like, I mean, if it's like a normal night, I would love.
Right.
I always feel just a little bit better about myself when I pick something and I hear, oh, that's my favorite off this menu,
Yeah.
And then, but I would be the guy who, like, if I'm serving,
Would you
everyone
say
that says
everything was your
everything,
favorite?
yeah, everything. Oh, that's my favorite. Oh, that's my favorite. Oh, that's my favorite.
Oh,
And then someone
man.
would be like, "Didn't you just tell that other table that was your favorite? So what's your favorite?"
Yeah.
I'd get busted so fast.
Well, that's like there's like so on our menu, like we have burger, which is I mean, the burger stays on the menu. It's the same thing every time. We like won best burger in Austin, so it's like a phenomenal
Nice.
burger. But like whenever people get it, I'm always kind of like, yeah, but like there's some specials on the menu. Like you could try
Yeah.
that. Like you can always come back and get the burger. Like it's always going to be
It's
here.
always here. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's where I will tell some tables, like based on what they ordered, I'm like, you fucking killed it tonight. Like you were nailing it. And if certain times they're not, then I'm going to be like, good order. I'll
You-
know for sure. If
Good
they're
job.
Yeah.
What I really appreciate is
star.
when I ask the server's opinion and they go like, they'll tell me why not, right? Like they get like a real hush tone and then like,
Yeah.
lean down like by your shoulder, your ear, and be like, I really like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, thanks for the heads up, dude.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I always ask, like, I mean, a lot of places I go out to eat, I'll ask a server, like, hey, I'm tossing between these two things. What's your honest opinion? Because, like, if they're both pretty good, they're going to be like, they're both good. But if there is
Mhm.
a clear winner, I think, in their mind, hopefully they would be like, this sandwich is awesome, or like, this dish is great. Hopefully they would tell me that. But so I always ask that question.
is there anything that you want future guests of any restaurants to know, like from a server's perspective? Is there anything that you feel like if we're peeking behind the curtain right now of what it is to be a server? Is there anything you want to tell the people, all 3 of the people that listen to this podcast? One's my mother.
We are the 3.
I don't know. I think one of them is that like servers can hear so much. You're eavesdropping on every single table.
Mm.
It's like, unless you're really in the weeds. So like sometimes I'll just hear like tables talking about something where I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to hang out by this table a little bit longer and clean up just for a little bit. I want to hear the tea.
So careful what you're talking about because you're in a public space.
And they are.
That makes me
always
want to start
listening.
coming up with some outlandish shit now. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you can.
Ugh.
Well, and like I don't know. I sometimes enjoy being a server and just walking around purely just kind of listening. And I'm a very people person, so I'm like, I love just like walking by a table and being
It's a
like,
good job
wow,
to be
I
in.
wonder- like I just kind of like listening in on the conversation for a minute. So I don't know. That's a little thing that I like to do.
Nice.
But I don't think that's like a. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know if I have much that's like behind the curtain.
I was just curious. There's like 1,000 TikToks out there, but they're all people who work at Chili's. And that is shade to Chili's.
I do think that like
Um,
there's a lot of tea that happens. I mean, you guys know this. There's a lot of tea that happens in the back of house. Like
Yep.
servers will be out on the floor and they're being very professional, and then like they go back a little bit, and it's just like, oh, they like if there's a table that's acting up, they're talking shit about that table.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm old. Tea means gossip, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm just messing around.
Sorry, Nick.
I'm almost too old to use that as that term. For anybody who doesn't know, listeners or viewers, if you're watching on our YouTube channel, in the weeds, just in case you're not aware, means behind. So like running behind. You're running behind. So,
Got a lot going on.
anyway,
Right.
there's a lot of things going on. I used to joke that there's been some jobs where I felt like I was in the weeds as soon as I got on my car. It
Yeah.
was just like, it
Before
was
he
gonna
walks in, you know.
happen. I can't get finished. Can't get caught up.
Yep.
So does it bug you when people like eat their entire meal and then they go, we hated it?
Oh my. Well, I haven't had that very often, but there was one time
Get dad jokes in there.
for like a bottle of
Oh,
wine.
I'm gonna stop
People, like,
doing that, yeah.
People like, oh, you mean like as like a dad joke?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, all the time. That and it's like the fake laugh that you learn, where it's just like
It's a courtesy laugh.
you're like, oh, how is everything? And you're like, oh, terrible. And you're like,
I do the whole
yeah.
and I just make it really uncomfortable and awkward for everyone.
And
So
then you kind of walk away like, you're Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a classic.
Yo, yeah. Have you seen the movie Waiting, Tate?
Yes.
So like it, don't like it?
Good. Yeah. I like it.
I think for the time it came out, it was extremely accurate.
Yeah.
I think those things
still
happen.
hold
less
water
so.
to this day now.
I
You're
still
what?
think it's pretty accurate to the day. I mean, like, maybe also in like that restaurant environment, because they're kind of in like a bar, right? Or like a
Yeah.
just a
It's
general.
like a been
I mean,
against Chili's.
Yeah.
Type.
I don't know about
Deal.
the whole showing the balls thing, but you know,
Yeah.
that's the only
It-
part that
It
would.
goes a little bit off the rails, but
Yeah.
I was never in those kind of restaurants.
Yeah.
me
Never
neither,
experienced that
but
one.
I missed
But
that.
I feel like I feel if I was in those restaurants, I'd be having to go up to the stage afterwards.
Yeah.
Tate, it's been a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for coming on.
thank you.
I have to ask you, like, where can we find you online? If you feel, like
Yeah.
sharing it.
I mean, I'm not even really online that much. I think just on the podcast. If you want to listen to the Good Day for Movie podcast, it's a bunch of amateurs that don't know much about movies that talk about movies. So
That's not true. It's a fantastic podcast. Everybody should be listening to
It
it.
really is.
It's
But
really,
we can say
really
the same
good.
about us. We don't know what we're talking about, but
Oh,
we
yeah.
like food.
you guys know exactly what you're talking
We-
about.
I like food a lot.
Yeah. You guys are vets talking about your subjects. We're amateurs.
Nah. All right. What's next on the movie docket? So I just saw that Soylent Green. came
Yeah.
out. Yep.
That was a good one. I like that one. Next one we're watching, I think, is we're gonna do the new film Napoleon.
Right, with Joaquin
coming out-
Phoenix.
Yeah, next week, and then I think Jacob just picked Henry V from like 1980 something.
Okay. Nice.
I don't know.
We had requests last time when we talked to Jacob, and it was Young Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles, and
It's Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles. He was talking about how it's hard to review a comedy because you're like, you should have seen this thing. It was
Yeah.
really funny.
Trying to talk about it over podcast about how funny it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blazing Saddles was hilarious though.
yeah.
He's great.
Well, if y'all do Napoleon Dynamite, I want in.
All right. Well,
I watched it like 9 times in the theater when it came out. So-
See, mine would be Team America. You know, 'Cause I
never
remember
seen
watching
it,
that
so-
so many times.
Oh,
I mean, I know a lot of the jokes there.
Cool.
Like I've seen a lot of clips, but I've never seen it. Cool. So maybe
We
Steven
could-
will have to have you on.
we could
Oh,
both come on for that one.
yes.
Yeah,
That's
boom.
a classic.
we're both in for that. Yes. Done.
So
Well-
find Tate over at the Good Day for a Movie podcast. Steve, where can we find you?
Find me on social media, Chef Steven Gonzalez, or on Facebook, or go to Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I also, as Chef Stegons, I also like long walks on the beach with horses and hot dogs. And what else do we do? I don't know. But yeah, you can also talk food with me. I know, right? You can also find me at chefstevengonzalez.com.
Excellent. All right, so we'll have to have you back on. We'll talk about
Yep.
whatever delicious thing that you're learning to cook at the moment. Maybe we'll issue you challenges, and that'll be the way
Yes.
we start our Patreon.
Yes.
So
Oh,
yeah.
easy challenges. Easy challenges. Those start.
Easy challenges, yeah.
Done.
Easy challenges.
We need to know,
Um,
yes.
I hope you have a wonderful time, a great Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for coming on.
You as well.
And everybody, for Steve and for Tate, I'm Melissa, and this was the Food for Thoughtcast. Thanks for listening.
Got through it. Did it. Yeah.